Hello everyone, my name is Dmitriy Glazyrin. I'm co-founder and art director of Mondlicht Studios. And today I want to talk to you about creating automotive projects in Cinema 4D with Redshift. I want to share these moments with you because there are not so many tutorials and infos how to create these things in Cinema 4D with Redshift, because mostly pipeline were based for many years in 3ds Max or Maya with V-Ray, Corona, but nowadays more and more studios going to and switching their pipeline to Cinema 4D. And me personally as well. So let me quickly introduce myself. I've been working in advertising industry as a CGI artist and art director more than 10-12 years, and for that period of time I had a chance to be a part of many very good and nice studios such as Platinum FMD, Lightfarm, Zombie Studios, RecomFarmHouse, Cream, many others. So, and I lived in Brazil, Australia, Europe, Germany, and many different places. I worked like for full time and for some contracts period, like 1 year, 3-4 months, and did many different options. And as you can see, I had a chance to work not only with automotive projects. Yes, sure, there are like many automotive projects, but also there were matte painting for different projects and some classic advertising projects. So yeah, like many of different styles and many different brands, and like there were so many different stuff. And basically I started as 2D artist, but then I added more and more 3D into my pipeline, because 3D helped me to increase my speed and increase my productivity. I could create much more stuff, but those days there were not so many options like nowadays. Mostly they were like Maya, 3ds Max, and yeah, I started with 3ds Max and V-Ray, and I used this software for many years, but not so far. I switched my pipeline to Cinema 4D and Redshift again because it's just more comfortable, and it's developing so fast and growing so big, and it helped me to speed up my productivity. And few years ago, me and my friends David and Maxim, we founded our personal studio, what is called Mondlicht Studios, based here in Germany, and we are growing even with Corona and all these things. And yeah, we're producing different animations and with different products, and for sure we do lots of stuff for automotive, interior, exterior, retouching, and many different stuff. So let me quickly show you our showreel. Here, what exactly we are going to create today? Like quite big set, and here you can see some close-ups, some interior parts, exterior with backplates. There are some exteriors with full CGI parts, and yeah, basically it's exactly the same location, exactly the same setup, and the main difference here is just the camera position and a bit of different lighting, quite a bit different grading, but most of them is just the same thing. And my goal is today to show you how to create with materials, lighting and all the setups this main scene. Cool. So let's talk about how the process works in general, because very often we get many questions about, hey guys, how it works and communicate photographers and CGI artists, because sometimes brands use photographers for producing some stuff, sometimes CGI, and like sometimes together, and how it works in general, what are the different fields. Okay, let's take a look. And many years ago there were mostly photographers because CGI didn't work really well, and like the basic pipeline was to like organize photo shooting, make lots of images, select them, and then do some retouching, grading, and as a result get the nice results. So a bit later CGI starts to work better and better, and sometimes now you can see some full CGI locations, like that one examples. So yeah, as you can see, like clay render, it's all like fully CGI created stuff. Okay, what's the difference? Because creating photo material is faster, and when you need to create, I don't know, 50 images in very short period for some catalog, in this case call photographer and organize photo shooting will work much better, because it will be faster and like quality would be really photorealistic. So if we talk about some new model, for example, like let's try to imagine this is a new model, and this model like in only one unit of this car, and it's in another like exhibition in another point of the world, and it's impossible to organize photo shooting in some, I don't know, pergola in the middle of mountains, or for example there is no exact location what client wants, just it's not real, so they need to create some specific kind of location. In this case CGI works better, but more and more often there is third option where my favorite one, when photographers and CGI artists works together, because photographers can create the location, like photo shoot them, create like 3D sphere background, we will take a look about that later, and CG artists can prepare the 3D model and merge them together and get a very nice product. So it works much faster than create that CGI locations, like that location fully in CGI. Try to imagine it took weeks to recreate all these things and leaves and everything in the same quality. So, and yeah, the truth is somewhere between in the middle of the directions. So this is also why it's my favorite, and this is what we are going to talk, not about like full CGI location. We are going to talk about how it works, backplates with HDRIs and CGI stuff. Our plan for today will look like, I will tell you where you can get a model for free, because I think if you are experienced artist, you probably know. If you are just beginners, it's a big question how and where you can get a model for free. The second one, where I can get a location with backplates and HDRIs. The third one, how to put the car into your scene and set up the materials. And we take a look on some particular examples, what usually takes most of the questions about car paint, transparent materials like glass, because there are different type of glasses, like for headlights, for windows, the red one for the rear backlights, the yellow one, and yeah, many different transparent stuff, and some generic like metallic, plastic. I will just show you some tips and tricks about how to set up your some exact material what you want to get. Then we will talk about the camera and backplate, how to put them together, how to put the lighting, what we have, how to prepare everything for rendering. We will talk about render passes, what we will need to use later for compositing, and post-production. We will do it in Photoshop because mostly in advertising industry we work with very big resolutions, and if we talk about stills, static, not an animation. Sometimes static is between like usually 10 and 20K, and do it in After Effects. It's very difficult. So yeah, this is why for statics we use Photoshop for post-production. Where I can get a model, there are two different ways how and where you can get it. First of all, CAD data. CAD data is professionally engineering-based 3D data assets, and if you don't have a real client like directly like Mercedes or BMW or I don't know many others, it's very difficult to get CAD data models because they are super 100 physically correct even at tiny gaps, but there are very strong NDAs because many confidential information, and mostly you can get that data only for real client. There are some like personal fun stuff, like in the GrabCAD you can type RexFu. So, and this guy created his personal models. That's not like 400% real client CAD data. It's like personal reconstruction things. So, but they are for free for personal using, and for practice you can come download them. They're very nice, very detailed, and modern enough, good for your personal images and personal practice, and they are super good. Just give appreciation to this author because he did a very nice job. So the second option, the most often thing what we can get, is polygonal models. There are many different stocks where you can just, if you type in the Google, just buy 3D model car, there are different stocks. So like TurboSquid, Hum3D, CG Trader, many different types. You can just type it in Google and you will find it. But if we talk about some, again, free stuff for just personal usage, for practice, go to Behance. So in Behance you can type 3D model free, and there are some artists who for example, appreciation. So, and there are some artists who share it, their personal created models for you. For example, very nice alpha, like alpha, and you can, and there will be probably pretty sure the link, yeah, where you can also give some appreciations to the author and Ford Mustang, and so. And also what I am going to use is Porsche Singer 3D. So there is a very nice 3D modeler. Sorry if I pronounce wrong. Simon Kubicki from France. So, and here you can find the link where you can download his model. Also it's available for, you can give him some, I don't know, credits, put some, I don't know, small money, because yeah, he did a very nice job, super great model, and this model will be our hero for today. So, and as you can see, there are many different models available. You can get one of them for our tutorial, not a problem. So, Actually, there are the most easiest ways to get a model. About locations. First of all, let's talk about where and how get some of them for free. Very nice website, Hdri Heaven, with all the Hdri spheres for free, and some of backplates also. Also, like, if you like it, don't forget to put some donates, because yeah, like, after puts lots of time in this website, and there you can find some backplates and HDRI, and even in raw format you can download them and play with them. Very nice stuff. And but if we talk about professional, there are photographers, and for sure we are trying to simulate and imagine that today we're kind of like playing in real life project, and we need some photographer with backplates. And in this case we will work with Dmitriy Glazyrin. Yeah, one more Dmitry. Very talented LA-based photographer, and at Gumroad for also not a big money you can find some backplates what you can use for personal usage. And yeah, Dmitry is very talented photographers, and Dmitriy Glazyrin. So, and also he creates he works not only with CGI and also with photo material. And yeah, today he will be our partner, and he will also prepare some special gifts for you for that tutorial. And yeah, and we are going to use that set for today. Okay, we open the scene, and here's what we see. Very amazing model. Even all the materials are grouped by the topics: wheels, emblems, interiors, exteriors, paint, and many others here in the bottom. This is really cool. We don't need the canvas, camera, deleted, lights also don't need it. Super detailed car, even with some simple rig for doors, for wheels. Awesome. So, and very detailed interior, what also will be good to use for some close-ups, and we will definitely do it. Okay, about materials, they are applied and they are named. This is very cool. If what we're going to do with replacing materials, for example, here's the wheel. So right click, select one of the material, right click, select material, text, objects. You can also solo this and see how it works. Okay, cool. And create the new redshift. Okay, set up the redshift. Increase for now the canvas. Create redshift material. And if you hold Ctrl Alt and then drag and drop material to what the thing what, okay, this one is type base. Here's the created as material. Hold Ctrl Alt, drag and drop, and this material is applied. And now we can change it and set up material for tires. Be careful with exact Ctrl and Alt, because only Alt will rewrite completely, and you will lose the name of material. It will start just as material, what is not comfortable, because all the materials are named right now. So okay, before we start to create materials, the super crazy important thing, we need references. We need mood boards and references. For that, go to the Google, type, right now we work with Porsche Singer, type it and take a look, because in this case you will see all the options with different color paints and how it works with desert. But don't trust to your brain. If your brain tells you, okay, hey buddy, I know how materials works and looks and like color paint options, like I can do it with no references, don't try it. You need references all the time, because you think that you know, but it's not gonna work like that. Build a mood board, build the references, and compare yourself. What are you doing here with materials all the time? Because in this case you can analyze, okay, why it doesn't look so realistic what I have in Redshift and here. And you can at least figure out, okay, IR works different, or maybe some reflective index is different, and so on. Yeah, that's kind of very important things. So, and for starting to build materials, we need a lighting, because if we just go to the Redshift and press the rendering, there will be just a clay render with nothing. It's very difficult to set up the model, because we will get no reflections and like almost nothing. For setup lighting, we need to select Redshift, lights, and dawn light. That will be our main guy, what will give us illuminating and lighting. So by default almost nothing happens, because Redshift dawn light works. It creates some virtual sphere around the object what is mapped, but right now it doesn't map because only white color. So we need to go to the DOM settings, path, and select one of the HDRI sphere. So yeah, XR HDRI 8K would be enough for us. And just a few seconds for uploading, and here we are. It also okay, it already works, because Redshift gets the information from HDRI sphere. It's a 32-bit, and depending on the brightness in 32-bit in this sphere, because the most hottest and brightest part is the sun right on the top, so, and that gives everything. So, quick introduction about how HDRI works. Cinema 4D with Redshift, they create some virtual sphere inside your project, and when we apply the map actually in 32-bit. What means in 32-bit? If we go to the if we move lower the exposure, you will see that everything gets darker and darker except sun, because sun is the most strongest and hottest and brightest point. So if we go brighter, it also has all the information, even in some shadows, even if we think that, okay, this is just a black area there. No, it's not black. Like, everything has the information. Even the most brightest and darkest point has the information, and each pixel is kind of a small illuminating area light source. So what gives this feeling, and this is how HDRI sphere illuminates and gives correct reflection. Because if we see this 8K by 4K, and it means we have 8K different light sources by 4K different light sources, and they illuminate on the car and gives the physically correct result. And here you can see the scene already what I set up and prepared for the tutorial. Unfortunately, because limit of time, I can't go through every and each material and show you how I replaced and built them. And my goal is at least show you the most complicated ones like car paint and transparent materials, and give you a pipeline with some another ones. So okay, Here's exactly the same scene. The only one difference is materials and some post effects, what we discover later. But in general, here we have our car. And take a look on the car paint. First of all, I've got the reference, so I choose that one. And I really like this kind of bronze Cooper car paint, and I like it. And if we take a look, kind of car paint, close up. If we try to analyze and think how car paint works, we will see that there is some basic material, like a basic car paint. Then it has some another layer with specular. Here we can see some big specular stuff with some hottest point, and then over the top we see like a coat over the top of the material. This is like the main basic structure of car paint, and some other things are just some details. And here you can see some like a pinks inside, like a flares, and yeah. And for that actually I used the basic car paint of Redshift. Let's take a look. If we go to inside the car paint what I built, it looks complicated, but it looks complicated because of decals. That RS material blender, it gives me the option to mix the main car paint with that brighter car paint and give this decal here. So, and in this case, let's forget about that for now and go to the main basic car paint, what is also material blend. And let me show you why I use that. Let's create the main the car paint by default and put it inside. Take a look at the door. It already works quite well, so we already see some reflections and some differences. But if we take a look at the basic car paint settings, you will see like base layer diffuse, base layer specular, metallic flakes, and clear coat reflections. So for now we will need actually these three things. Okay, first of all we need to change pigment color. Here I use that color, and actually what I did, I just took our reference, use the picker and just select the pigment color by picker from here. So, but forgetting the same result, let's just copy paste. So, okay, yeah, already we see that, okay, it starts to work somehow a bit closer. And here we can see the weight. Weight is actually it's like a weight. If we go down, this color doesn't work anymore. If we go higher, we see this pigment color more and more. Let's go a bit higher than middle one. Okay, the next one, base layer specular. Actually also the if we will start to play with color of that, we will see how it starts to work. And if we start to play also with weight and with glossiness, we will see the different effects of how it works. We see it's like becomes super glossy, less glossy. We start to see some like a kind of like a glowing and from a sun hitting. What actually works really well even here when sun touch it and we see some glowing around. This is what exactly we are trying to achieve and replace. And I don't have some exact numbers, and because in our world we have so many different car paints, they work so different, and this is why we need to choose some reference and just try to match it and play. Just put this reference on your second screen or somewhere around and try to match it. So yeah, a little bit more weight here because I want to get this reflectivity a bit more visible somewhere here. About color also, let me just copy and paste. About glossiness, let's make it a bit bigger. About BRDF, sometimes I use GGX because it's kind of coming from my background because it's easy for me to understand, because I used V-Ray for a long time, and GGX kind of like a base thing in V-Ray, but also like Beckman is also very, very nice. Like just use what is more comfortable for you. If we talk about some clear coat, I just put it not like a one, just go a little bit down, just a little percent less, and it already will start work better. So, and yeah, we have just some tiny differences. So, but in general, yeah, that's it. Like this, our basic material, almost the same. Just I took the basic car paint and changed just few numbers. Okay, but if we compare the door, what I created with one car paint, and result with us with wings and with side, we see a bit more reflection on from a sky, and kind of like a bit more coating. We can try to get this coat here, but it's a bit but for me it's already coating here. It's almost for we can go higher for one, but it will start to coat, and here, and yeah, it will kind of like almost the same result. But again, it's just my pipeline, how I like to play with this. I prefer to create material blender and put this one as a basement. So, and then I like to play, because it's again just easy for me, because I found one result what I like, and I want to create some extra code what I would like to control, and I create one more res car paint. So the second one here, how it looks, usually just a black one, and for that for get the same result, I go to the car paint, go with black, also go with black. So great to get some nice weight and glossiness. Yeah, just trying to get kind of some extra coat feeling. So yeah, I'm trying to be fast and play a bit with Fresnel here, just to get this extra coat feeling here. And what it gives to me, and then in the Res Blender I just use additive mode. It's kind of like multiply together my basic car paint and my extra coat, and I control it here. I can move it lower, I can move it higher, so, and also I can control. So it's just like my small trick to achieve that very shiny, nice car paint feeling. So yeah, this is how I do that. But mostly, yeah, it's just the basic card paint just multiplied together. Very quickly about transparent materials, because in Redshift and Cinema it works kind of automatically and really quick and fast. So let's go to the exterior and glass exterior. Mostly it's just a basic Redshift material. We drop it in output, and actually here is already like preset glass. Cool, and that already works, you know, like fast and good. One difference what I do usually is I adding a bit more code over that, so what gives a bit more this also shiny advertising feelings. So yeah, and also because we added extra shine to car paint, I also would like to have it for the glass, just to match them better to each other. So with no and with just gives a bit more extra shining. Okay, if we talk about some colored about headlights, okay, quickly, almost the same. The only one difference, I usually headlights has a bit of dispersion. Headlights has a little bit of dispersion. So yeah, if you look at some examples, it gives some nice gradient of dispersion. If we talk about some colored, like a indicator here, again, mostly it's the same kind of glass color, and only one thing what gives us this colored feeling is color in refraction point. So yeah, that's pretty it. And IOR, but for IOR there is very nice also table, IOR table of materials if you need. Okay, because the general works the same for the other materials, like if you some metallics and some other things, just go to pixellandpoly.com and you will get like almost everything, all the setups for IOR. And if you go to the glass, like you will see like, okay, glass, there are different glass, yeah, for sure, and some of them they have different IOR, and you can check it and get exactly what you need. About some another metallics, also here you can find some IOR parameters, but some exact specific materials, like here we have some kind of gold copper material. Let's see how we can get this. Let's select that one, and emblems, as far as I remember. Emblems, yes, that one. Okay, so material. The easiest way, again, just go here, and you already have a presets with aluminium, with copper, and you can just add some extra textures. But for example, you have some material and you don't know like exact parameters, and I don't know, some super specific. For that you can go to the beautiful website what is called Refractive Index, refractiveindex.info, and they especially for 3D artists, for some reasons some 3D artists love to go to this website. You can even go and see like 3D selected data for 3D artists. You can select them, and then you have like different metals, plastics, crystals, glass, liquids, and blah blah blah, all the other things. And here you can select like copper, gold, and all the other things. And here you can see the graphic, how everything works, like a gold. And you can find like refractive index, and K extinction coefficient. And yeah, you can ask, okay, how can I use that indexes, and I can, like, where I can put them in Cinema, and just use Fresnel. And in Fresnel you have these tabs like extinct coefficient, index of refractivity, and then blend and use this for res material for reflection, settings, so you can get the super close to realist, physically correct result. So this is also my trick and advice to you. So in general, that's it. So like lots of presets, like basic presets from Redshift will help to you, and some small tricks I already showed to you. And yeah, it just take time. Pick and drag and drop all the materials to car. And now let's match it and integrate a car in one of our backplate, because for now we have just some basic setup. Okay, moment number one. Choose the backplate. Let's start with that one. We need to go and check the settings what we have. So, and yeah, we see the author Dmitriy Glazyrin, and okay, we see the size, and let's just use that size here and put 7952 by 5304. Okay, now we need to put the backplate. We need to create the background, to create default material, apply default material, go to the texture settings and go to and apply that background. So okay, cool, already works. Already we see our background. Also we need to apply the same, yeah, you can also scale this a little bit down because background is quite big, okay, super high res. And also if we start the rendering here, you can see that we still look at our HDRI sphere instead of like backplate. This background we see only inside our viewport. For changing that, we have in res dome light. If you go to the general settings, you see backplate. Check enable, put the link to our backplate, and that's actually gonna work. Okay, yeah, we see now in the rendering we see kind of the same result. So okay, now we need to achieve the camera. Oh, about shadow. We can create just a plane, extend that, put on a correct distance from a car. And now we see the plane. The main trick that usually I prefer to put some very similar texture on the plane, not just keep it super clean, because it starts to reflect on the car already. And if we put just use some quicksil or other material and apply on the plane, so it will work even better. But in general, go to the Redshift Objects, Mate tab, Override, Enable, Shadow, Enable, and we already start to see shadow. As you can see, shadow has a little bit like a blue, and we are going to add that one as well. But we will play with shadow a bit later, so I usually don't like to render shadow together in one pass. But for now it can work. Okay, we need to set up a camera. Let's create Redshift, Camera, Standard. And again, if we go to the settings of our backplate, you will see everything ISO and camera and everything, but the main important thing for us is a focal point 35 millimeters. We go to the Redshift camera and put 35 millimeters in that, and now we almost like in the same like we exact in the same camera settings. And now we need to merge like a background. If you can see here, you will see the horizon in our car and horizon on the backplate are in different positions, but if we merge them together, we kind of will be in a good way. So, and then we can just choose the position, the angle. Okay, it can be like that, or closer to the building. So now we can just turn on our artistic preferences about how it's gonna work. So, and yeah, in general it's the same. Like we need to check the focal point of the backplate, we need to set up a backplate, we need to choose the correct position, and so, and in general, yeah. One more thing, we need to check exact backplate, so we need to match it, because right now it also can be turned on another position, because probably now we see the same building here. For checking that, go to the DOM settings, turn off the backplate. Yeah, see, it doesn't match. Go to the coordinates of a backplate, and let's find a position 90. Usually I go through every 135, and something like that can work, and then turn on backplate back. So, okay, here's our basic things, and now we can set up the render process and prepare everything for renderings. The main process, render process, what I use for post-production are global illumination, what is showing the global illumination, diffuse lighting, reflections, refractions, and specular. Usually this is the main setup. So, because if we build everything in 32-bit by layers and put all of them together, like GI, diffuse, refraction, reflection, and specular, we will get the beauty path. So, in this case, in post-production, if we put them together in 32-bit, we will get the same result, but with like possible controlling of every layer in Photoshop or in another post-production software, what is really also really cool and good. So, and then yeah, let's just set up. Yeah, let's check the depth field for camera, because we have that parameter, and take the camera, put the focal point here, turn on the bokeh, take everything from camera, and yeah, it will work. It will give also the realistic bokeh effect, and then we will render. About shadow, I prefer to render shadow separately. Like for the main render, I do it like that, but for post-production, I just get the plain back from a mate, just make it visible, apply the basic like Redshift Material, forgetting the shadow, and hide a car from rendering. Just turn off visibility, and I get the shadow. So, and when I just cut it and put as a multiply in Photoshop for post-production, and I can control it and merge. Because Cinema and Redshift, they have only one algorithm how to multiply shadow with backplate, and in Photoshop I have many different options how to achieve the result. And because of time, we're not going to look at the all post-production in Photoshop, because it will take another 1 hour of explanation. So, but like inside the Cinema, if we want to make just some beautiful close-ups, not matching to the backplate, we have some very cool options, what is called like post effects. Here is some bloom, flare, streak, and bokeh, and already with all this stuff, it like with no seeing the backplate, we can get a very beautiful examples. So yeah, that's just a little bit of like color controls, a bit of curvature inside Cinema, and that already works. So that we just don't need to push it inside Photoshop. And we have here even some vignettes, vignetting. Cool. I don't know, a little bit of that. Okay, so maybe another camera option. Let's find another angle, what will work really cool. And yeah, I just put this glow flare by default, that already works super cool. Also we can go to inside or outside and see some reflections together with car. And just now we need to find just a very interesting composition. So some retro effect, also some maybe post effects here. Go to the white point and use a little bit of blue, what gives us this yellow, and moving white point a little bit, and we can get a bit of old style sepia look. And yeah, just choose whatever angle what you want, and that already will work super great. Or some close-ups. The camera focal point. Boom. Cool. So, and we can play a lot, many times. So, yeah, I know I didn't tell like each tiny moment about every material because of time, because it's impossible to show everything in 1 hour. And my goal for today was to show the main pipeline, the basic things, the basic setup, what you can use and shift to another, maybe not in Redshift and Octane, but the same meaning. So thank you for being with me during that hour, and yeah, I'm ready for your questions.